Brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. It's here, ladies and gentlemen, not just the Kickstarter with my new Slave Leia book. We got a week to go. Another, 30%? Let's sell 30 more books, but you don't want to give a shit about that. The NFL is almost upon us. I know preseason kind of sucks, but there's still money on the line. They got the balls to ask for $15 instead of $10 a throw. $15 a fucking ticket to chase the fucking what? I think it's like 100 grand or 50 grand to putting up in the fucking preseason game. Either way, let's throw down 60 bucks and do the play action. 20 entry, max $3 a pop. Everybody on the same fucking level. 6,000 players, 1,500 to first place. Not too shabby. This way, if we lose, it's 60 bucks, but if we win, it's 1,500. That's 2 hookers and a pizza. Let's take a look at some. We're just going to automatically pick the top 20 guys as captains, but I don't know how often these guys will play. I don't know how much recon we have. This might be pretty goddamn quick. But either way, it's our first look. We'll change things accordingly, but we go with the recon that we currently have. Captains across the board. Jared Goff. Justin Herbert. Najee Harris. And we'll replace captains accordingly. Jahmyr Gibbs. Just excited to see NFL action back this Thursday. I'm going out of town. Doesn't even matter. Lad McConkey. Just get to see the superstars in action again. I got $4,000 in fucking best ball lineups going, and the fucking season hasn't even started yet. Preseason hasn't even started yet, and I'm maxed out in the $1 million game because I'm a fucking psycho. I should have just stuck with fucking baseball at WNBA, but instead I went fucking nuts. Didn't wait for the preseason, and I'm all in. I cannot do that ever again. That was a $4,000 mistake. But if I win one tournament, I win my $4,000 back, it'll be worth it. Will Dissly. It's also interesting to see in terms of the pecking order and salary where they're putting these guys. Cameron Dicker. I mean, do the fucking kickers get in on fucking stupid preseason? Why would you kick a field goal fucking preseason game? I hate preseason. I fucking hate the fucking preseason. But it's NFL football. And a fucking shitty NFL preseason game beats any UFL game. Let's just put that on the fucking table. For people that love football, I always say every year I'm going to try and watch college football. Some years it works out. Some years it does not. Hooker. More than likely, right, they always say the backups get in, but we're looking for any kind of intriguing story or any backstories, anything we could use to make 20 fucking lineups. We may find shit. And this video will just end early. We'll have to wait for some recon to come in. Because as of right now, it doesn't look like we really have much. But we shall try. And we'll make more videos as we get more bloody recon. Who do we have left? Johnson. Quentin Johnson, which brings us Tyler Conklin. And after Tyler Conklin, Brock Wright. So once again, brought to you by the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Let's get back over here. And what I usually like to do is, I said, we click in. Everybody's at the same level. So there's really no salary cap. It's really just about picking. This is preseason, the same thing with fucking. I love spring training baseball, and there's no salary cap. Everybody's the same salary. So this is just about picking the lucky 6. Who's going to catch a fourth quarter fucking touchdown and completely fuck you like Xavier Worthy? So let's work it out. Captain by captain. Jared Goff. Entering his 5th season in Detroit. Operating as the team's starting quarterback ahead of Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. We like to see the names that pop up, again, because this is preseason. So we like to mark down names that we see pop up for whatever reason. We take it as our little signs. We're playing this game. Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen. Goff compiled a career high 4,600 passing yards, 37 passing touchdowns, while completing 72% of his pass attempts over 17 regular season games in 2024. The 30-year-old has been the picture of consistency, appearing in all 51 of the Lions' regular season contests over the last 3 years. With offensive coordinator Ben Johnson leaving the offseason to become the head coach with the Bears, Goff will work with new offensive coordinator John Morton, who was a senior offensive assistant in Detroit in 2022 before spending 2 years with the Broncos as the team's passing game coordinator. Morton is considered to be a maestro with wide receivers, and Detroit added a third-round Isaac Tesla to the fold in the 2025 draft. He'll join an already talented wide receiver room that includes Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, and Khalif Raymond. The wide receivers pair with impressive running backs Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, as well as tight end Sam Laporta, will provide Jared Goff with a wide array of options to once again have a productive campaign in the Motor City. God damn, go away. So we got a lot of name drops right here. Essentially just dropping the entire fucking roster here, telling you what to have in store. Now, should you know, if you didn't know already, Jared Goff was the starting quarterback of the $1 million team, the $1.5 million team, I think it was, where there was $1 million at one point. I think it was $1.5 million paid out this year, so $1.5 million. He was the fucking starting quarterback. It was Jared Goff, Bryce Young, and one other quarterback that didn't even matter into the fucking fold. Jared fucking Goff, remember that. The picture of consistency. So now they mentioned Isaac Tesla, so I'm assuming Tesla's getting in this game. He's their first-round pick, right? Or what? Third-round pick. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jameson Williams. Tim Patrick. Khalif Raymond. Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery. A lot of name drops. And don't forget at the end, Sam Laporta. A lot of bloody name dropping right here. An array of options. So maybe we start putting some money on the fucking Lions, huh? Moving on. Justin Herbert. What do we got? Herbert looked in mid-season form on the first day of training camp. Herbert's highlights Thursday included a 50-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Reagor and a sharp performance in red zone drills. Reagor's expected to be a supporting piece in a Chargers wide receiver room that drafted rookies Trey Harris and Keandre Lambert-Smith in the 2nd and 5th round, respectively, while retaining Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Darius Davis. Harris is slated to begin his rookie contract with the Chargers after agreeing to terms with the team Thursday, per Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. But Adam Schefter of ESPN reports that Mike Williams plans to retire from the NFL. Well, I'm glad I fucking drafted him on those best ball teams, you fucking cunt. He's gonna fucking retire? Asshole. Asshole! I'm the asshole that fucking drafted too early. Rather than play out the 1-year deal he signed the Chargers and Mark. I mean, you play out the fucking deal, asshole. Too bad I don't get compensatory fucking picks for shitty fucking fantasy drafts. Hunt. Anyway. Jalen Reagor got a nice mention there. Trey Harris. Lambert-Smith. McConkey. Johnston. And Darius Davis. Harris. Mike Williams is a cunt. Quentin Johnston, Darius Davis, Ladd McConkey, Kendrick, right? What is his name? Keandre Lambert-Smith. Trey Harris, fucking goddamn Michael fucking Williams retired. You stupid fucking cunt. Najee Harris is ooped. Harris was placed on the active non-football injury list. Harris, who sustained an eye injury as the result of a fireworks mishap on the 4th of July, isn't expected to remain on the list long, according to GM Joe Hortz. Once the running back is hit, you know what, let's not read it this way. Some captains we can get rid of. Let's read down the list. Yeah, let's do it that way. I want to read down the list. That's how we're going to do it, at least for this game. Once the running back is ready to return to the field, he'll be able to resume practicing. But until then, the 2025 first-rounder Omarion Hampton figures to see the added first-team reps with Hassan Haskins, Kimani Vidal, Jarrett Patterson, and Raheem Sanders, also currently in the team's backfield mix. It's really quick. It's bugging me. I have to X these out. Not giving these guys captain spots because some of them aren't going to get captain spots. So let's just do this differently. Get rid of these. I just wanted to go through the top 20. Well, no, if this was a fucking start, if this was a regulation game, if this was the NFL was opening right now this season, at least we have an idea of what the top 20 cards would be, which plays out all the starters, the kickers, the captains. Now we get to the fucking backup quarterbacks, who may be the most interesting thing, since they literally seem to get the most screen time. You got to think who we're reading these stories to figure out who the fuck is trying to prove themselves. Who's trying to make that starting lineup? Who's trying to get the last roster spot? Who's going to shine in the fourth fucking quarter when it's 15 fucking hundred? So what do we get here? Eye injury until he's ready to see the field. O'Marion Hampton figures to see added first team reps. Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal, Jarrett Patterson, Raheem Sanders. Boom. Jameer said last week that new Lions offensive coordinator John Morton has him splitting out way more than he was the past 2 years. Gibbs took the 39 perimeter snaps during the regular season last year, 8th most among RBs, but his 16 slot snap ranked just 22nd. He finished the year on a high note in terms of receiving involvement, with a career-high 11 targets in January's playoff loss to Washington. After catching at least 4 passes in each of the final 5 regular season games, his receiving involvement spiked, following David Montgomery's MCL injury, with Gibbs surprisingly having averaged just 2.3 catches on 3 targets per game in weeks 1 through 13. There's a chance his pass-catching production comes more consistent under a new play caller, and also some chance Gibbs takes more of the workload away from Montgomery in general. Along with the risk that Detroit's offense won't be as efficient in general after losing former offensive coordinator Ben Johnson to the Bears this offseason. The Lions have also lost starting right guard Kevin Zeitler to the Titans and center Frank Ragnow to retirement. But they're bringing back all of their 2024 starters on offense, including the elite tackle duo of Penny Sewell and Taylor Decker. We read that already, but fuck it. Amon-Ra St. Brown participated in Sunday's training camp. Well, who was mentioned there just now? They mentioned Montgomery. They mentioned his MCL tears. That wasn't too exciting. And they even mentioned taking the load away from him. So again, it's more of a negative than a positive, marking him again. ESPN previously reported that St. Brown underwent an off-season knee procedure to clean some stuff up. In the words of the wideout, at the time, Woodyard indicated that St. Brown was expected to be ready for training camp. And that is indeed the case, with no reports of the 25-year-old being limited to practice. St. Brown is thus set to reprise his high-volume role in Detroit's offense, after having racked up 115 catches on 141 targets for 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns in 17 games in 2024. Will he play, though, if they're resting that fucking knee? That's the question. Lad McConkey. Nothing on Lad McConkey. Sam Laporte said Wednesday that new Lions offensive coordinator John Morton has a brilliant mind and should do a great job calling plays. This is Laporte's first time working with Morton, who was an assistant on Ben Johnson's staff in 2022. Morton was Denver's passing game coordinator the past 2 years before circling back to Detroit to replace Johnson this winter. The Lions also lost starting center Frank Ragnow and right guard Kevin Zeitler. Kevin Zeitler to the Titans this offseason. But they retained all their key skill position players, an impressive group led by Laporta, Jameer Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson Williams. The tough competition likely means Laporta will see less volume than what he's capable of handling after dropping from 120 targets as a rookie to just 83 in 2024. He had a few targets in each of the first 8 games last season, but he then got 6 or more targets in 9 straight contests to close out the regular season with 6 touchdowns during that stretch. Who got mentioned? Amon-Ra got a mention. Jameson got a mention. Gibbs got a mention. There we go. Sam Laporta did regress. But does that mean he goes back up? What does it mean? Nothing on Will Disley. Cameron Dicker. Dicker the kicker. Nothing. Jake Bates. Nothing on kicker Jake Bates. Chargers D. Lions D. You got to give them captain spots because the defense could go off and they're always on the fucking field. Now it's where it gets a little intriguing, the backup quarterbacks. Hendon Hooker. Took the second team reps at practice Monday. Hooker was operating with the third team offense behind Jared Goff and Kyle Allen during Sunday's first practice of training camp. The quarterback stepped it up a notch Monday, but he appears to be in direct competition with Allen for the backup role ahead of the 2025 campaign. Hooker operated in the number 2 role for the 2024 regular season, but was moved to emergency quarterback in favor of veteran Teddy Bridgewater for the playoffs. Hooker has reportedly shown an strong early rapport with rookie wideouts Isaac Tesla and Dominic Lovett, according to Colton Pouncey of The Athletic. But Hooker will have to get some work with the starters in order for Detroit to get a full read on him during his third year in Detroit. Should we read the other thing here? Same day. It's from the same day. Lions coach Dan Campbell said Hooker knows that it's time to take the next step in his career. Campbell also mentioned being impressed by Hooker's urgency and footwork at the beginning of training camp. The 27-year-old spent all of last season as Detroit's number 2 quarterback, ultimately attempting just 9 passes with Jared Goff staying healthy throughout the year. Now entering the third year of his rookie contract, Hooker will face competition from Kyle Allen this summer. There was some thought Hooker might eventually replace Goff after the Lions made him a third-round pick in 2023. But Goff has since led offenses that rank 5th and 1st in points scored, earning a 4-year, $212 million contract extension in the process. The Lions essentially are tied to Goff through 2027, 1 year beyond the length of Hooker's contract. Hooker's intriguing. They mentioned Kyle Allen, and Goff is now on the board. Intriguing. Impressive. Most impressive. Taylor Heineke. Nothing. David Montgomery recently said he has no concern about Detroit's offensive line changes and is confident in new offensive coordinator John Morton. You see where all the stories are just kind of centering on this new offensive coordinator. The Lions lost center Frank Ragnow to retirement and right guard Kevin Zeitler to the Titans, leaving a training camp competition between rookie second-round pick Tate Rutledge, 2024 sixth rounder Christian Mahogany, and 27-year-old Tristan Colon, among others. For the 2 open spots, Morton, who was Detroit's passing game coordinator the last 2 years under former OC Ben Johnson, still has an elite tackle duo and one of the best groups of skilled position players in the league at his disposal. There's always a chance the new play caller gives Jahmyr Gibbs a few more snaps and touches at Montgomery's expense, but the wholesale changes are unlikely after the Lions scored a league-high 33 points per game last season. That's another one for Gibbs. Everybody's talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. Is Gibbs going to run one in? Will they give him some first quarter reps? Nothing on Hampton. Jameson Williams. Nothing on Jameson Williams. Quentin Johnston. Offensive coordinator Greg Roman said Johnston, Trey Harris, and Jalen Reagor can play the X-receiver spot. Johnston handled the role for most of 2024, posting a 55-7-11-8 receiving line in 15 regular season games, while more than doubling his yards per route compared to an ugly rookie campaign. It was a clear step forward for the 2023 first-round pick, but he still has left some big plays on the field, dropping 7 passes and struggling in contested catch situations. The Chargers responded by signing Mike Williams, who has since retired, and using a second-round pick on Harris to give Johnston competition in the X-receiver spot. Johnston's name is the first one Roman mentioned when discussing the position in response to Williams' recent retirement. Johnson. Trey Harris and Jalen Reagor. Interesting. We're reading about the drama. Tyler Conklin. Nothing. Brock Wright. Nothing. Kyle Allen. Has seen work with both the second team and third team offensive units at Lions training camp. Allen worked with the second team offense to open training camp Sunday before Hendon Hooker replaced him with the second team unit Monday. Allen signed with the Lions in the offseason and he'll compete with Hooker for the backup quarterback role behind Jared Goff this season. The 29-year-old hasn't played in many meaningful actions since 2022 with the Texans, when he completed 46 of 78 passes for 416 yards and 2 touchdowns, while also throwing 4 interceptions in 2 starts with the team. Hooker spent the majority of the 2024 campaign as Goff's primary backup and has likely earned the edge over Allen for the number 2 role. 2 for Hooker. And 2 for Goff. Interesting. Kyle Allen. Trey Lance. Nothing. Hassan Haskins. Nothing. Craig Reynolds. Nothing. Tim Patrick. Nothing. A bloody fucking thing. Trey Harris has been playing behind veterans Jalen Reagor and Quentin Johnston to begin training camp. Any bit of news regarding the Chargers' first-team wideout usage is noteworthy, but it's hard to read too much into the first week of camp given the rookie has just signed his contract July 17th. Perhaps more importantly, with the sudden retirement of Mike Williams and reportedly minor training camp injury to Reagor, Harris has already had opportunities to compete for a boundary wide receiver role, along with 5th-round pick Keandre Lambert-Smith. That's 2 for Lambert-Smith. That's 3 for Reagor. That's 2 for Johnston. Harris is slated to sign his rookie contract with the Chargers after agreeing to terms with the team Thursday. Harris initially was unsigned by the Chargers training camp opened up, but the 2025 second-rounder now is poised to rejoin his teammates at practice after reaching an agreement with the franchise on the same day that it was revealed that veteran wideout Mike Williams planned to retire. As the coming season approaches, Harris will have an opportunity to carve out a key role that could yield lineup utility in deeper fantasy formats, in a wide receiver core that features Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston, with Darius Davis, Keandre Lambert-Smith, and Jalen Reagor. That's more Johnston. 2 for McConkey. And another 1 for Davis. I think we're good there. Kenny Yeboah. Nothing. Aronda Gatson. Nothing. DJ Ukulele. Nothing. Kamani Vidal. As training camp approaches, Vidal is looking to secure a role behind newcomers Najee Harris and Omari and Hampton. During his rookie campaign, Vidal recorded 43 carries for 115 yards and added 5 catches for 62 yards and a touchdown across 10 regular season games while working in a backfield that also included J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Ahead of week 1, Vidal figures to compete with Hassan Haskins for a depth sliding behind Harris and Hampton, with Schultz noting that Vidal's case for a roster spot could hinge on him demonstrating that he could be a factor in the Chargers' passing game. Well, Harris is out. We ain't got to worry about him. Haskins. That's another mention of Haskins. Who's the other guy they fucking said? Hampton. Another 1 for Hampton. Hampton definitely getting in this game. Kamani Vidal. Sione Vaki. Left practice due to a leg injury. The exact nature of the injury have yet to be determined. Vaki is competing for a team depth role in Detroit's backfield after notching 51 total yards of offense in his rookie campaign. The 2024 4th-round pick can also play safety and is expected to contribute on special... fuck him. Raymond. Khalif. Nothing. Darius Davis. Nothing. Tucker Fisk. Nothing. Shane Zylstra. Not a fucking thing. Kai Robichaud. Not a fucking thing. Here we go. Here's some recon. Naheem Miller-Hines. Signed with the Chargers on Monday. Running back was looking for an opportunity after missing the last 2 seasons with a torn ACL, suffered in a jet ski accident. And now he'll get one in an LA backfield led by Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton. The depth chart is pretty open behind those two, and Hines has had the benefit of offering potential as a kick returner. Seeing that as he recorded 554 kickoff return yards and 2 touchdowns during the 2022 regular season. Hines has also caught at least 30 passes in all 5 of his pro campaigns. Well. Another one for Hampton. Naheem Miller-Hines. He could be a fucking sleeper right there. Keandre Lambert-Smith. Early standout for the Chargers through the first week of training camp. The sudden retirement of Mike Williams, coupled with a minor undisclosed injury for Jalen Reagor, has opened the door for both Lambert-Smith and rookie second-round pick Trey Harris to compete for a boundary wide receiver role in the first-team offense. Lambert-Smith is the prototypical size and speed to be a conventional field stretcher for an offense that has struggled to find that role for years, and he figures to be in the mix for consequential playing time regardless if he's officially listed as a starter come week 1. Wow, that's a good fucking report. Who they talk about? Trey Harris and Reagor. So that's another one for Reagor and another one for Harris. The early standout, Keandre Lambert-Smith. You must stand, Whitney. This guy's name's come up a few times. Mr. Isaac Tesla, no news. McCallan Castles, nothing. Luke Deal, nothing. Jabari Small, signed with the Lions on Friday. Small sent the 2024 season with the Titans practice squad after joining the team as an undrafted free agent. He'll battle for a roster spot during training camp, but will likely face a tough path with the likes of Craig Reynolds and Sion Vaki already serving as depth for Detroit at running back. So Craig Reynolds, Sion Vaki. They get mentions. Jarrett Patterson. Nothing. Jalen Reagor, we know we got something here. Jalen Reagor isn't practicing Monday. Reports from the offseason program and opening days of training camp had Reagor getting a lot of first-team reps on offense, but he's now been unavailable for nearly a week. Quentin Johnston and Trey Harris, meanwhile, remain the favorites to take wide receiver snaps in the regular season alongside Ladd McConkey. Reagor is more likely to jockey with Darius Davis and Keandre Lambert-Smith the depth wide receiver roles and return work. Johnston. Another one for Harris. Another one for Davis. And another one for Keandre Lambert-Smith. Jalen Reagor is hurt, with news reports that say that he appeared to tweak something in his lower half during Tuesday's session. With Reagor, who Proper notes has been working consistently with the first-team offense as an outside receiver early in camp, sidelined. 2025 second rounder Trey Harris saw added first-team reps Wednesday in the wake of Mike Williams' retirement. Harris, Darius Davis, Reagor when available. Keandre Lambert-Smith are in line to compete with wide receiver slotting behind Ladd McConkey and Quentin Johnston. So it appears Johnston's job is safe. He's the number 2. All these gentlemen are competing for number 3. Nothing on Dominic Lovett. Zach Horton. Nothing. Jordan Dalla. Nothing. Raheem Sanders, whose name I heard come up. Tom Kennedy. Brendan Rice. Not a thing. Steve Klotz. No. Taking a break after that. Ronnie Bell. Nothing. Jalen Johnson. Activated from the pup list when Sunday. Johnson will return to practice after opening training camp on the sidelines with an undisclosed injury. Wide receiver will make the look good impression with Los Angeles in the continuing weeks in an attempt to secure a spot on the team's activated. Make a good impression. Landed ahead of camp practices activated. Yeah. Dez Fitzpatrick. You know this guy Jalen Johnson's gonna fuck me over now, right? Because I said yeah. Malik Taylor. Jackson Meeks. Luke Grimm. Jacoby Keeney James. Davian Campbell. Scott Matlock. And finally, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Let's pick our 20 captains. Goff's going to get a captain spot because they may run him for a little set. I remember anything on Herbert. Gibbs came up a bunch of times. So did Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, again, if it's announced that they're not going to play, we'll replace them. McConkey's name came up, as did Laporta. Disley, nothing. Dicker, nothing. Bates, nothing. Chargers, D, definitely. Lions, D, absolutely. Hendon Hooker. The Hendon Hooker Kyle Allen battle for the job is probably what's intriguing me in terms of the only story really picked up here. Nothing on Heineke. Montgomery's name did come up, but it wasn't really positive. Seems more of a regression. But he's in there. Take him for now. We might replace him. Marion Hampton's name came up a bunch of times. Jameson came up. We didn't really find anything on him. Johnston's name came up a shit ton of times. Nothing on Conklin or Wright. Allen's name came up as part of this quarterback competition for the backup to Goff. Lance, nothing. Hassan Haskins came up. He's going to get his hands on that ball. Craig Reynolds came up once, nothing too impressive. Neither did Patrick. Trey Harris' name came up a shit ton of times. Yebo, nothing. Gatson, nothing. Ula Keeley. Kamani Vidal came up. This guy can run one in the third or fourth fucking quarter. There's Vidal. Sion Vaki came up. Raymond. Darius Davis, yes. Darius Davis' name came up a few times. Fisk, Shilstra, nothing. Miller Hines. So this guy coming off that injury, it says he's trying to prove himself. And then we have the other one that was mentioned, definitely was mentioned, was that Keandre Lambert-Smith. Isaac Tesler, their third-round rookie, got mentioned a couple of times. And our final captain spot. After Isaac Tesler, who got mentioned? Anybody? Jalen Rieger, but he ain't playing. Tesla, Castles, Deal Parrots. Rieger's not playing. Raheem Sanders, Kennedy Rice, Klotz, Bill. Jalen Johnson. That one I ignored. Jalen Johnson. Activated from the pup list. Will return to practice at the opening training camp on the sidelines. He'll look to make a good impression with Los Angeles. One of 5 Chargers who landed on the list ahead of training camp practice can be activated any time once he's ready to take the field. The East Carolina product will compete for it. Fuck it. You're my 20th captain, Jalen Johnson. Who do we like here? We liked Hendon Hooker. We like Keandre Lambert-Smith. Hendon Hooker. And who was the other guy? Trey Harris. I know those three I like. And essentially, there's no cap. You can take anybody the fuck you want. So who else do we want? Do we take both defenses? These three cards intrigue me the most. They were the ones I feel like came up. Quentin Johnston came up a lot. Trey Harris came up 4 times. Jalen Rieger came up 4 times, but he ain't playing. Marion Hampton. Everybody else was 2s, 3s. The 4s were Trey Harris, Jalen Rieger, Quentin Johnston. Is Quentin Johnston getting this fucking game? Or do we go double defense here? Go through the game. Goff? I don't see Goff in every lineup. But Lambert Smith, Trey Harris. Question is, do we go Kyle Allen? Do we go Kyle Allen and Quentin Johnston? Or do we go double defense? I don't think double defense. I mean, I think defense gets in there. I'm trying to remember the winning lineups from last time. This is where the conundrum comes in. We like these 3 cards. I'm taking these 3 cards across every captain. And then the real question comes down to, is it double defense? Or do you take Kyle Allen, the other quarterback? What fucking points? Oh, here we go, fantasy points. Are we going to see a lot of sacks? Are we going to see a lot of interceptions? Double defense seems safe, but we don't want to play safe. We want to win this fucking thing. Double defense is going to be highly owned. You read about Quentin Johnston again here. Quentin Johnston seems to be pretty fucking secure in his job. Whereas these other guys got to go prove themselves. They talk about Quentin Johnston is pretty secure in the spot. He can play the X receiver. Do they got him going out there to fucking practice his thing? Do we take Isaac Tesla? Lambert Smith and Trey Harris' name came up a bunch of times. I like the sound of them. All right, we're going to come back to that, see if anybody else jumped out at us. For now, let's lock in the guys we know we want. Hooker, Harris, and Smith. I'm going to feed you and walk you, Don. So Hooker, Harris, and Smith. And then we got to decide on our Harris and... You know, it almost feels like double defense. I think we're going double defense here. Again, let me go through these captains. Gibbs, St. Brown, McConkey, Laporta, Chargers D, Lions D, Hooker already doing, Montgomery, Hampton, Johnston. It says he's locked in. The early edge. I mean, Allen's playing for a job too. You're either going double defense or you're going fucking Kyle Allen and somebody else. Haskins. Harris is in there already. Vidal. Darius Davis. Miller Hines. Lambert Smith, we already got. Everybody else is just essentially a fucking captain. So we're going double defense. Can't take a chance on just a random fucking dude if I don't have confidence in a random fucking dude. So that's how we're going to roll it. Taking Hooker, Harris, Smith, double defense. With 20 different captains. Dude. That's how I'm going to roll it. That's how I'm going. That's how I'm doing it. That's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling. It may change as we get more recon tomorrow. Bang, bang. I said bang, bang, bang. And any lineup that already has one of those 3 guys, a captain, we'll put in Kyle Allen. There it is. McConkey. So, Hooker, we'll get the defenses too. Where are they? Double defense. Hooker. All right. Harris. Smith. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. So double defense. Hooker. Harrison Smith. Keandre Lambert Smith. Will he be our sleeper? Will he be our $1,500 angel? Going out of town for the weekend, I could use the scratch. All right, so here's where we're going to go with Kyle Allen. So we already got the Chargers in there at captain. So Hooker, Allen, Harris, and Smith. Bang. See? Done. Again. Chargers, Hooker, Allen, Harris, and Smith. We know who we're rooting for this game. With Hooker at the top here, once again, we go double defense. Allen, Harris, and Smith. We chase the recon, ladies and gentlemen. We chase the recon. Chargers, Lions, Hooker, Harris, and Smith. Here we go. Douche the roosh. Chargers, Lions, Hooker, Harris, and Smith. See, we shift out the captains. The idea is to try and guarantee, well, all but guarantee us the winning captain. With the real challenge coming from getting the underneath. Chargers, Lions, Hooker, Harris. Where's Mr. Smith? Smith. I love making lineups. And Kyle Allen's already over this. We got Chargers, Lions, Hooker, Harris, Keandre, Lambert, Smith. Haskins, Harris, Smith, Chargers, Lions, Hooker. All right. There's Harris, Smith, Chargers, Lions, Hooker, Allen. Will these be our heroes? Vidal, Smith, Harris, Chargers, Lions, Hooker. Will Hendon Hooker be our hero this coming Thursday? Or is our system just a bag of shit? Harris, Chargers, Lions, Hooker. Goddamn preseason. Almost there. Miller Hines. Oh, with Lambert Smith. Harris. Chargers, Lions, Hooker. Speaking of hookers, I could go for one right now. Lambert Smith. The guy we need to be the star of the game here. Kyle Allen. Chargers, Lions, Hooker. Bang. I love making lineups. I wish this was my job. Tesla. Along with Smith. Harris. Chargers, Lions, Hooker. And finally, we already have these guys. So we know the defense. Chargers, Lions. Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, that is 20 lineups for the upcoming Lions and Chargers preseason Hall of Fame game to kick off the NFL season. 1,500 to first place. May fate and faith decide you're fortunate if you should win. Blow your money right here on the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. Peace, love, and war. All that shit in between.